Hi, good morning. This is Ada with Family Union LLC, and today I have Justin McCarthy. If you could please introduce yourself.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ada, for having me. Yeah, Justin McCarty, uh, born and bred New Yorker. And yeah, it's super grateful to be here with you to be able to talk about what we're doing and how, as folks in the veteran community, we're able to take advantage of some wonderful opportunities and try to launch these great ideas to help help our communities.
So I met Justin through the NYU Tandem Future Labs. They're sponsoring our businesses right now. And as you guys know, I'm a military spouse, and so is Justin. Tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah. So I get the benefit of two things. I am also a military spouse, and then I'm also a veteran. But yeah, so what we're doing is we've launched a company called MEARAS. We are building electric all-terrain vehicles for the for dual use markets. So basically targeting the power sports industry. And our initial go-to-market strategy is to create a beachhead with our good friends within special operations. So we're working with various elements within US SOCOM in order to be able to validate our premise about that electric vehicles within the ultra lightweight, smaller form factor are useful as reconnaissance vehicles. So um, the intent is to continue to grow the business, to create comparable, if you're familiar with the company Saronic, which is creating a creating ships that are teleoperable or remote controlled or autonomous for the Navy. We're trying to do that here for ground forces. So like the Marines, you know what I mean. Every good Marine loves a wonderful beach landing. But a beach landing would be a lot better if the first wave doesn't have to necessarily be soldiers or Marines in this case.
Wow, that's very interesting. Is there anything like this out there?
As far as we can tell, the short answer is no. We are one of one, right? So it's one of those things where the military has a lot of priorities that they have to look for, right? That there are a lot of things that they're looking at that they want to be able to be the best in. Um, and folks know that is an endless list of to-dos. And if everything is a priority, nothing is a priority. So the military is focused on a couple of specific areas. You can look it up in our current strategy of how we're establishing these various directorates within the program executive office. But one area that I think is super important that the military hasn't had the time to focus on was in ground mobility and in really increasing the survivability and the capabilities of our soldiers on the ground in this new drone era. Right. As everyone is aware, drones have become this ubiquitous thing. The drones are like AI, right? Like if it doesn't have AI, no one cares. If it's not a drone, nobody cares. But the reality is, just like with AI needs a supporting cast of systems or products or services in order for it to be useful. Same thing with small unmanned aerial drones. They need a supporting cast of other capabilities, other products, other services, in order for them to really be effective and useful at the scale that we're talking about for you know LISCO, large scale combat operations. So that's where MERIS fits in. We're basically focused on the individual soldier and the fire team and the squad level tactical movement. And so we're trying to create a product that helps them get closer to the front line and then power those drones once they get there. So that way we have the ability to exploit whatever sort of tactical advantage you may or may not get from your drone warfare.
And you have some education in this, right? The university you went to. Um,
Yeah. So I'm a West Pointer. So go Army, beat Navy. We're recording this right before the Army Navy game. So I'm putting it out there that Army is gonna beat the hell out of Navy. We'll see. They're doing great. The Navy guys have a fantastic team this year. Those young boys are doing a great job playing. I believe they were ranked 22nd in the AP poll this week. So great job to the Navy team, but we're going to beat you come this weekend. So looking forward to it. But yeah, so I'm a West Pointer. My education is in systems engineering. That was my undergraduate, and then I certified as an industrial engineer. And then my background was I was an artillery officer. So I did combat observation and lasing team. I was a Colt team leader back in the day when we had those sorts of things in Iraq, and then and a fire support team leader. And then moving my way up through various levels, culminating as a battery commander of M777 howitzer battery. But that those experiences in Iraq and Afghanistan, Southeast Asia, really kind of shaped my understanding of this particular problem, and my expectation of what the solution should be. Unfortunately, that solution never came. Um, and so after I got out of the military, I did 10 years active duty. After I got out, I went into the automotive space, which is actually my personal passion. I'm a massive car nut. I worked on and raced Mustangs, Ford Mustangs, and uh, never saw anybody really try to solve this problem in particular. And so I went to Tesla and then over to Polestar, so two electric car companies, fairly successful electric car companies. And those experiences really helped shape my understanding of what the possible was, right? Because you can dream, people dream of being the Master Chief in Halo and running around in Spartan armor and having all these cool gadgets. Um, and that's great, right? We need that in people to have these expansive ideas of what is possible. But then the next step is how do we actually do it, right? Wishing for rainbows and unicorns is wonderful, and that the hard part, or probably the more important part, is actually making rainbows and then making unicorns. And in this particular case, nobody had finally taken all these pieces to create a new product category that I believe very strongly will result in saving a lot of American lives and overall a lot of lives around the world, because we'll reestablish credible deterrence to conventional war, and that can only come through a strong position of believable sort of a believable argument that there are consequences to our adversaries' actions, and that the United States is willing to back that up, right? Is willing to cut the checks. And we saw in Iraq and Afghanistan that for certain periods of time, we cut the checks, in blood. We cut the checks in lives, lives sacrificed on this altar of freedom. And and that resulted in stabilization in parts of the world that historically really haven't had that. Um, but it's a long game, right? It's a very long game, and that requires the political capital is expensive. So without getting into like reassessing history, um, I believe strongly that by creating our product category, that we are going to create a new tool that the United States will be able to leverage in its foreign policy and in establishing freedom around the world.
Wow, that's very interesting. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. Um,
Of course, thank you.
I
Thank you
look
for
for,
asking.
I look forward to continuing this program with you and everything that it's offering. Um, and thank you so much for coming. And have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and Happy Holidays to everybody else. And this is gonna be fun. Looking forward to it. Glad to be in the program with you.
Thank you.